Alola Pokemon trainers, this is GatorEX, and originally I didn't exactly know how to present this information, but I think I've finally got an idea of how to discuss this theory. Before I go any further, let me just mention that the following will contain spoilers if by chance you have not finished the complete story of Sun and Moon. So with that out of the way, let me just go ahead and begin. Now, in the main story of Pokemon Sun and Moon, it is revealed that the Aether Foundation and Lusamine are the true bad guys. And as the story begins to reach a climax, you, along with Hau, Lily, and Gladion, enter the Aether Foundation and confront Lusamine in her secret room. What's interesting about Lusamine's secret lab is that she actually has several Pokemon frozen and preserved. She states the following: "What do you think? It's my private collection, my precious babies. They will be preserved for eternity here." And from then, we're able to see some of the Pokemon that are preserved. She has a Slowpoke, a Pyukumuku, a Pikachu, and in the very back we can see a Starmie. There are two other Pokemon that are preserved, however, it is unclear what they are. There is one in the front, however, that I had an idea of when I first played through the game. When I first played the game, I could have sworn this Pokemon in front had a silhouette resembling Floette. And again, it is completely unclear what exactly this is, but my best guess would be a Floette, and as soon as I saw something that looked similar to a Floette, my mind immediately jumped to the Eternal Flower Floette. Obviously, this would be completely insane if this turned out to be the case, but however, it is extreme speculation. It would make some sense though, because Lusamine is obsessed with preserving what she perceives as beautiful, from these Pokemon in her labs to the Ultra Beast to her own appearance. And what Pokemon would be more beautiful than an Eternal Flower Floette? The line where she states they will be preserved for eternity here also sort of relates to the Eternal Flower and makes me begin to think that this could be possible, but this portion is entirely based off of a blurry silhouette that we do not get to see clearly. And on top of that, why would she have an Eternal Flower Floette if the only one we know of is in the possession of AZ? And AZ and this Floette love each other so much they are not going to separate ever again after those 3,000 years. Now obviously regular Floette do change aesthetically based off of what kind of flower they're holding, and we have seen at least two different Eternal Flowers, being the Eternal Flower Floette and the one planted in Sootopolis City. And of course, it being a flower, there is no way that there could only be one or two of these in all existence. This would be extremely interesting if this were the case, and I would have loved if it would have been a little clearer and we would have actually been able to see that it is in fact an Eternal Flower Floette. Although it would tease us a whole lot more because we never got an official distribution for Eternal Flower Floette, and then seeing one frozen and owned by Lusamine would just be absolutely crushing. Upon further inspection of this cutscene, I still do believe it is a Floette. However, it seems that the flower it's holding is more rounded, so in the end it's probably just a regular Floette and not an Eternal Flower Floette. But it still is very interesting. This supposed Floette is not the only Pokemon preserved by Lusamine. The collection of Pokemon that she owns is a very odd choice, Slowpoke being the first one that we are shown. Slowpoke isn't a particularly attractive Pokemon, but I feel like this at least is a nice reference to Team Rocket wanting Slowpoke back in Generation 2. Then as for the Pikachu, I feel like this could also be a reference to Team Rocket in the anime trying so hard to obtain Pikachu. As for the Pyukumuku, I have no explanation for that. Now the Starmie is interesting because Starmie actually is a pretty beautiful Pokemon, and some of its past Pokédex lore does state that it's believed to have come from a different planet. Who knows, she might actually be holding this Starmie because she believes it has some sort of connection to the Ultra Beasts. Now, I would have loved to revisit this area in order to get a closer look at all of these Pokemon in this room. However, this room is inaccessible after you complete the main story of the game. And when you do visit this room during the main story, the only thing you get to see is an in-engine cutscene and a pre-rendered cutscene. And then after that, you're kicked out and told to move on to the rest of the story. The fact that she is preserving Pokemon at all is really weird, and what's even weirder, we never know whether these Pokemon are freed afterwards. These preserved Pokemon are introduced for character development and shock value, but then they're never shown ever again. That actually is really weird, even though we know now that the Aether Foundation is functioning properly and that Lusamine is likely getting help to become sane again, there still are Pokemon frozen in that secret laboratory. This is one of the strangest things in Sun and Moon that has just gone unresolved. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think you have a better idea of what the Pokemon in the front is? Do you think you have better explanations as to why she's preserving these Pokemon in particular? Or do you desperately want to break into that secret laboratory and thaw them out? Anyway, also remember to leave a like to show your support and subscribe if you'd like to stick around. Also, if you do subscribe, please do enable notifications so that you'll be notified of each new upload as it comes out. Remember guys, 1 like equals 1 prayer for the frozen Slowpoke. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.